Hey there, and welcome to the What Cinephile channel, where you get quick movie recaps and reviews. Before we jump right in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to us so you know when the next recaps are dropping. During the civil rights movement, Eugenia Skeeter Phelan, a recent University of Mississippi graduate and aspiring writer, attends a bridge game at the home of her friend Elizabeth Lee Folt in Jackson, Mississippi. Skeeter's childhood friends have all married and begun families, but Skeeter is troubled by how they treat their African-American maids. Aibileen Clark, Elizabeth's maid, answers a call from white trash Celia Foote, who wants to help with a junior league benefit. Elizabeth and fellow socialite Hilly Holbrook, the head of the local junior league chapter, mock Celia's efforts to fit in because they believe she is not up to their social standards. We later learn that Celia is married to Hilly's ex-boyfriend, which could explain Hilly's attitude. Celia tells Aibileen she's looking for a maid. Hilly describes the home health sanitation initiative she hopes to get passed in the state legislature after refusing to use Elizabeth's toilet because Aibileen uses it. They carry different diseases than we do. The bill would require white-owned homes to have a separate toilet for the help of African Americans. This conversation is taking place in front of Aibileen. Skeeter has been tasked with writing the Miss Myrna housekeeping column for the local paper. She asks Aibileen for help because she has never had to do much housework before. Aibileen, in addition to doing all of Elizabeth's cooking and cleaning, is the de facto mother of Elizabeth's toddler daughter, May Mobley, for whom Elizabeth shows heartbreakingly little concern. Aibileen tells May Mobley every day, "You are thoughtful, you are astute, you are significant." Skeeter returns home to find her mother, Charlotte, trying on a dress. Charlotte makes Skeeter try it on and teases her about how she is still single. Skeeter mentions her new job, and her mother worries that she'll never marry. Charlotte wonders if Skeeter likes women because she's heard of a herbal remedy that can cure such unnatural urges. Skeeter is shocked. Skeeter makes a crude remark about liking girls at dinner that night, and her mother excuses herself from the table because Skeeter has upset her cancerous ulcer. Skeeter dashes outside to a favorite spot, a small bench under a tree, and recalls how Constantine, the maid who raised her since she was a child, consoled her when she wasn't asked to a dance. Skeeter misses Constantine, who, according to Charlotte, left while Skeeter was at college. Skeeter senses there's more to the story, but no one will reveal what happened. Skeeter, disturbed by Constantine's sudden death and Elizabeth and Hilly's bigoted condescension toward their own maids, devises a writing project, a book about Jackson's maids. She describes the project to Elaine Stein, a New York editor, and receives lukewarm support. Elaine doubts that any maids will agree to participate. Skeeter inquires about the book with Aibileen, but she declines to be interviewed. Minny Jackson, Hilly's maid, disobeys Hilly's order not to use the family bathroom during a violent thunderstorm, making a trip to the outhouse dangerous. Hilly fires her despite the protests of her own mother, Mrs. Walters. In retaliation, Minny bakes a chocolate pie with her own feces and serves it to Hilly as a phony act of penance. While Hilly greedily consumes 2 slices, she inquires as to why her mother is not permitted to partake, to which Minny responds that it is a special pie just for Miss Hilly. "Eat my shit!" Minny exclaims a moment later to Hilly. Hilly inquires as to whether Minny has gone insane, to which Minny responds, "No, but you are about to, because you just did it." Hilly's mother laughs, and Hilly responds by placing her mother in a nursing home. Later that night, while Aibileen is on the phone, Minny's husband beats her. The next day, after hearing a sermon about courage and changing her mind, Aibileen resolves to assist Skeeter with her book. She sobs as she tells Skeeter and Minny about her son's death years ago. Aibileen's son was run over by a truck at his workplace when he was 24 years old. The white foreman drove him to a black hospital, dumped him on the ground, and drove away. It was too late to save him at that point, so Aibileen brought him home, where he died on the sofa right in front of her eyes. She expresses her anguish by saying, "Every year, the anniversary of his death arrives and I can't breathe. But to you, it's just another day at the bridge." She becomes more invested in the risky book project. Meanwhile, Minny works for Celia Foote, who has struggled to break into the junior league social set and is thus somewhat isolated. Celia pays Minny under the table because she does not want her husband to know she is incompetent in the kitchen. Although she is wary of white people in general, Minny is becoming more at ease around Celia, who is bubbly and treats Minny with respect but is deeply insecure. On Celia's first day, Minny improves her mediocre cooking skills by teaching her how to make fried chicken. When Celia has her fourth miscarriage, they become even closer. Celia is distraught as Minny helps her into bed and soothes her. She reveals that she married Johnny because she was pregnant, but she lost the baby quickly and hasn't told him about the 3 failed pregnancies that followed. She is concerned that she will be unable to have children. Yule May, Hilly's new maid, tells her boss that her twin sons have graduated from high school and that she and her husband have been saving for years to send them to college. They are, however, $75 short on one tuition and are on the verge of having to choose which son can attend. Yule May politely requests a loan from Hilly, stating that she will gladly work for free until the loan is paid off. Hilly refuses, stating that it is the Christian thing to do, because God does not give charity to those who are well and capable. Later, while vacuuming Hilly's living room, Yule May discovers a ring, which she pockets and later tries to pawn in order to obtain the tuition money. Hilly discovers the truth and arrests Yule May at the bus stop in front of the other maids, who are all deeply shaken by the incident. Aibileen convinces a reluctant Minny to join the book project, but Elaine Stein, who is warming to the idea, insists on at least a dozen voices, including the story of Skeeter's own relationship with Constantine. Following Yule May's arrest, almost all of the local maids volunteer to assist with the book. Despite changing everyone's names, Skeeter is concerned that people will recognize the maids and cause more trouble for the Negro community in the aftermath of Medgar Evars's murder. Minny insists on including the story about Hilly and the chocolate pie as insurance against being identified. An embarrassed Hilly will not want anyone to know that she ingested her maid's feces and will do everything she can to convince everyone that the book isn't about Jackson. Hilly has asked Skeeter, who writes the Junior League newsletter, several times to include an item about her proposed sanitation initiative, but Skeeter has consistently refused. Hilly now adds an item about a charity coat drive with coats to be dropped off at Hilly's house. Skeeter incorporates both items but substitutes coats for something else. Elizabeth receives a call the next day and rushes herself, May, Mobley, and Aibileen over to Hilly's, where Hilly is screaming, "I instructed her to write coats! No, not commodes!" There are approximately 40 toilets on Hilly's lawn. While Hilly continues her antics, May Mobley sits on the toilet, and Elizabeth slaps her until she sobs. May Mobley rushes to Aibileen, who clutches her and whispers, "You are thoughtful. You are astute. You are significant." Skeeter eventually gets her mother to tell her the truth about Constantine's departure. Charlotte fired Constantine because Constantine's daughter Rachel refused to use the back door, embarrassing Charlotte while she was hosting an important DR luncheon. Charlotte regretted it and tried to persuade Constantine to return, even sending her son, Skeeter's brother, to Constantine's new home in Chicago. But Constantine had died by the time he arrived. Skeeter's book, The Help, is anonymously published, and soon everyone in Jackson is reading it. Hilly is horrified to discover the chocolate pie story as predicted by Minny, and goes out of her way to assure her friends that The Help isn't about Jackson. Skeeter divides the advance she receives evenly among the maids, promising that more will be forthcoming. She's been offered a job at a publishing house in New York, which she's hesitant to accept, but Aibileen and Minny insist she do. Stuart Whitworth, Skeeter's boyfriend, ends their relationship after discovering she wrote The Help. Hilly discovers the author of the book and storms over to Skeeter's house in a drunken rage. She threatens Skeeter's mother, but Charlotte kicks Hilly off her property after insulting her and implying she is aware of the pie. Charlotte advises Skeeter to accept the job in New York, which Skeeter does, and Charlotte expresses her pride in her. Celia works hard to prepare a lavish meal for Minny as a thank you for everything she has done. Celia's husband, who has known all along that Minny is working for Celia, tells Minny that she can stay with them for as long as she wants. Minny is inspired to leave her abusive husband, taking their children with her. One of the final scenes depicts Hilly receiving her mail. One item is a $200 check from Celia to the Junior League benefit. When she sees that the check is made out to Two Slice Hilly, she explodes and tears it up. Hilly blackmails Elizabeth into firing Aibileen by falsely accusing her of stealing some silverware. When Hilly is alone with Aibileen, she cruelly tells her that while she cannot imprison Aibileen for her involvement in the book, she can imprison her for being a thief. Hilly bursts into tears of rage and flees after Aibileen snaps and finally stands up to her, calling her a godless woman for her false accusations and backstabbing ways. Aibileen begs May Mobley not to leave her. They say their tearful goodbyes, and Aibileen repeats her affirming mantra, "You are thoughtful, you are astute, you are significant." Elizabeth sheds a rare tear as she watches May Mobley bang on the window, pleading for Aibileen's return. As she walks away, Aibileen promises herself that she will pursue her son's encouragement to become a writer. Don't forget to subscribe to the What Cinephile channel for more movie recaps, reviews, trailers, and news.